Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you today on Treaty 4 territory, traditional homeland of the Métis, where I pay respect to the ancestors who stewarded not only the land, but the water that really does, as you said, connects us as people, but also it's the lifeblood of societies as well as individuals. And I've been asked to explain a little bit about the Global Institute for Water Security. And I thought really, as a relative newcomer to Saskatchewan and to Saskatoon, I should probably give you a little bit of a glimpse into who I am and where I come from as well. And so I grew up on the coast of Wales in the UK, and I, as a result, am very used to the water. You might wonder why I'm in sort of the this landlocked place in North America, but it's a wonderful province and a wonderful town to be in. But I really grew up around water, and so I think it was in my blood, literally and figuratively, from a young age. And I had the privilege of studying in Europe, but also in North America. And I started off in snow and ice. I started off looking at how glaciers melt and how the solar radiation and air temperature contribute to glaciers melting. And of course, we're in the prairies, we're a little way from the mountains, but we really do have to think about the mountains in terms of them being a primary source of water for us here in the province, and what's happening to the glaciers and the snowpacks there as well as here. And so I moved on. I like to say I came downstream. I came down to where the people are. I'm a geographer at heart, and so I started off in the physical sciences and, as I say, with the hydrological modeling. But I came down to the people, and I came down to that through the Walkerton Inquiry and the tragedy that occurred in Ontario, and where people died as a result of several challenges in governance, in operation, in management, in best practices. There was this perfect storm. And so that was really where I started thinking about the fact that we need to look at the social system. We can't just look at the physical system, the natural system. We have to be aware of and understand our natural resources, but we also have to understand the knowledge, attitudes, and practices, the behaviors, and the values of people around water. And so I have moved around a little bit. This is my first academic appointment at the University of Saskatchewan. I ended up, after the Walkerton Inquiry, working for the Public Health Agency of Canada. I then went to the UN and started setting up a water health program, an international water health program there. And then I came to the University of Saskatchewan with the Global Water Futures program, which was a large Canada First Research Excellence Fund. And then as of September last year, I'm past my 100 days now, I took on the executive director role at the Global Institute for Water Security. And so what is water at USask? Well, it's a very long and proud heritage of water, going back to 1907, when the School of Agriculture, the College of Agriculture, and the College of Engineering was established. I won't go through all of the time steps, but just to say that in the interim, we've set up a Centre for Toxicology that's world-renowned. The Environment and Climate Change Canada has co-located. The Water Security Agency was in Innovation Park up until recently as well. And so there's been this real hub around water on campus and near campus, to the point where in 2011, the Institute was established. So what does this mean? Well, thanks to an amazing group of faculty, students, researchers, staff, technicians at the University of Saskatchewan, we're actually ranked #1 in Canada for water resources research. That means that here in Saskatchewan, we are #1 in Canada. We're #6 in North America for water resources research, and within the top 20 around the world. So that's something that we should be celebrating, and we should be celebrating with partners such as SOAR. I've been doing a little bit of a reset since I came in September, because we needed a mission and vision that was collective, that for me really is about that coupled systems. It's about people as well as the natural resources. And so we've arrived at a new vision and mission, which is a world where water is managed equitably and sustainably. Again, very similar to the Water Security Agency in terms of that sustainable management for enhanced quality of life and protection of life, absolutely, particularly with the extremes, but also then in terms of strong economies and ecosystems. And so in terms of our mission, it's around knowledge, tools, and leaders and what we can do around that. I'm whistling.
Whoa.
Okay. And so, again, doing this through inclusive and impactful research and in an inclusive environment as well. So what are our strategic strengths? Internally at the university, we took a little bit of a time to reflect on who we are and what we are and how we can support the province and the prairies and Canada and then globally. And so land water management, and we've heard a lot about that already in terms of assessing and addressing water quality, groundwater sustainability, and ecosystem health. The natural and built infrastructure, I know you're going to hear a lot more about that. There's so many opportunities, particularly in urban environments around that natural and built infrastructure. And also, again, as we've heard already, the climate and water resilient communities sectors and also ecosystems. And so really how we think about what we need to be and where we need to be. The early warning systems, absolutely. The predictions, the water resource predictions, not just in terms of the hours and minutes for the flood warnings, but also in terms of the years and decades so that we can actually start to plan sustainably for the water resources that we have and for the changing extremes that we might experience in the future. Okay. Two more strategic strengths that we have, and that's around water and health inequities. And again, recognizing First Nation communities in particular in this province and across the country who don't experience the same water access and drinking water access. And so thinking about rural communities as well. I know that we're here in cities and there are unique challenges in urban centres, but the smaller communities also have their unique challenges, and particularly in Saskatchewan, where we do have such a vast land area compared to the population that we have. And more importantly, perhaps the water, food, and the water energy. And this isn't just with the Global Institute for Water Security. We have a Global Institute for Food Security. We have the School of Agriculture and Bioresources. We also have medical school, veterinary school. So there are lots and lots of resources and collaborations that occur within the university around water. And there's now a new a center that's going to be on energy and minerals that is the Polytechnic, University of Regina, University of Saskatchewan, working together. And so again, that collaboration being really important, particularly from water, because it does touch on so many issues and so many aspects of our lives. And so I just wanted to kind of share with you the values that we're looking at and that we're really internalizing, because I think it's important when we start engaging in water conversations, when we start engaging in partnerships, not just within the university, but outside the university, when we start talking across sectors, across communities, across governance systems and government levels, we really need to think about the transparency, the reciprocity, the respect that we have for one another, and the accountability. And for me, it really is about the humility and the inclusion and having more voices around the table. And so I'm not going to go into our principles, but our principles really do follow on from our values. And as I say, as part of our reset, it was felt that we really needed to be transparent and accountable to these founding principles in terms of working together and fostering innovation, for example. Just a little bit of a highlight for those of you who don't know. We have lots of facilities. I mentioned the Toxicology Center. We have a Smart Water Systems Laboratory that has a number of drones with capabilities, payloads up to about 50 pounds, so 25 kilograms. And they can look at and create maps, terrain maps. They can do all kinds of vegetation, different ways of monitoring and measuring land use, land cover, and terrain. And we use that a lot in our hydrological models. and also in our water resource models that are developed. And when I say we, it really is. There are over 40 faculty, and we have 60 students just in the institute alone, let alone outside in the wider university community. And so we have the MOST facility, which is about slope hydrology, and they do a lot of work with industry in particular, and mine waste reclamation and those types of things. And then lots of laboratories that look at emissions from different surfaces and different types of remediation and those types of things that can be undertaken. What I'd really like to spend just 1 or 2 minutes on is a new model of collaboration that we're working on, and it involves the Saskatchewan Association of Watersheds along with ourselves and the Water Security Agency. And it's around private wells, and I realize we're in a sort of urban watershed, urban watershed meeting, but I really want to share this because I see this as the way forward for the future. In my bio, it was noted about working across the different communities, different organizations, and this really does epitomize it, where individual, Lorelei Ford from Water Security Agency and myself, we actually jointly conceived of a project to look at private well use and water quality in private wells, and to see how that might change under changing climates and also under changing water futures. And so we co-developed this research. It didn't exist. We came up with it. We talked to people in Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health, and in the Saskatchewan Health Agency, and we came up with a series of goals and objectives, and then we went for funding, and we were funded through the Global Water Futures. And then as part of that, Saskatchewan Association of Watersheds has been funded with the Water Security Agency funding to provide technical support. We're going to actually sample 500 wells in the Southwest this summer to get more water quality data, and also to survey individuals to understand, as I say, the concerns around water, what they use the water for, and any health issues, what they would choose to do, what they fear in the future, all of these types of things, so that we can understand those knowledge, attitudes, and practices, as well as the actual water quality. And this is part of a pilot for perhaps a longer term program, depending on how it works out. And so, again, it's been a really great model in terms of that collaboration for a problem that's been articulated within the province and for the province. And so this is just the goal and objectives in terms of, as I said, understanding perceptions and attitudes, improving our understanding of the environmental and hydrogeological risks, and then evaluating improved decision management, helping people to understand when to test, what those tests mean when they come back, and to really be able to manage the wells and the well water quality and the well water quantity, both now and into the future. It was noted that I inadvertently set up the Women Plus Water community, and I just wanted to share with you that there are some lectures that we do, conversations actually, that everyone is welcome for, and we really try to understand water from the perspective of equity deserving groups, but also to showcase those from equity deserving groups who are working in water. And so we have a broad range of topics from a broad range of people. We actually have had over 2,000 people from, it's 4,000 people from 60 countries around the world. So we've really been able to share Saskatchewan knowledge, but also bring international conversations into Saskatchewan as well. And so that's really been a great success, and it's been supported now by a Women Plus Water expert list to hopefully increase the diversity in employment sectors, in boards, in research teams, and all kinds of things. And so I'll just leave you with this in terms of a coupled systems approach and why I feel that it's so important. And that is that, as we all know, as we heard, local water security is essential for healthy, dignified, productive lives. And we need it now and in the future. And so when we think about that, again, as we've already heard, those changing threats to water security mean changing threats to us as people, to our livelihoods, to our homes, to our families. And so you heard the great things that the Water Security Agency are doing, and I'd like to think that at the Global Institute for Water Security in the University of Saskatchewan, we're supporting that as well through the research that we're doing. So thank you very much.